back in January when 2020 had just started, a pigeon nested in a bucket that we had outside. It was not supposed to be like that. The pigeon just came in, set its nest inside, and then we were just like stuck with the pigeon. My dad actually considered this, clearing it off. And then, I guess in early February, we realized that the pigeon had actually laid eggs in it. So now we had eggs in the bucket, which was actually supposed to be a flower pot, but my mom just didn't put anything in it. So here we were, we just had pigeon egg in bucket. So the next thing we did was like, we didn't do anything because my dad did consider throwing the eggs off, but I don't think that was a good idea. I mean, that would just be cruel. I wouldn't support that. So, I mean, it wasn't like they asked me what I wanted, but still, I wouldn't really like that if that happened. I personally wouldn't love that at all. So the next thing that happened was like they didn't really do anything, and a few days later the eggs hatched. One of them I think died. I'm not sure because there's only one bird after that. One bird, however, like it was tiny. Like, I had never seen a baby pigeon before. Can you really ask yourself and see if you've seen baby birds? It's weird because I don't think any of us have seen baby birds. I don't think anyone has. It's weird. But the baby bird, right, it was a pigeon. It was a good pigeon. It was small, it was hilarious to look at. And the mother and the father, they used to like come and sit on them. I mean, the baby, it was actually pretty funny. The idea is that like pigeons actually mate for life, so it isn't like they just like they have the concept of a family. They're like a monogamous or whatever. I don't know the word, but yeah, they actually have pretty human relationships, probably better than humans considering how cool birds are. I mean, I can make a video on crows as well because I just read about crows the other day, and crows are cool as well, but right now I'm going to talk about pigeons, not crows. Pigeons. People usually think pigeons aren't shit. Well, I'm here to tell you, pigeons are the shit, dude. People don't appreciate pigeons. I think when I asked my mom to tell me something about pigeons, she told me that pigeons are like absolutely useless. They don't do anything, they're dumb as hell, and that they steal nests from other birds, which I think might be true. I think my dad also told me that the reason the pigeon was building a nest inside our tub, it like used to take straws. I don't know what kind of straws. They natural straws of some sort. They just take it, they keep it in the bucket, and then they call it a nest. That's what they do. You don't really need that, but they do it because then it looks like a nest. So that's pretty cool. But the thing is, these things, they are smarter than you will ever realize. Like, people consider birds to, I don't know, be cool and shit. Like parrots, people think parrots are pretty cool because they can talk. I guess I was playing Judy San Andreas today, and I was pretty shocked about the fact that birds can talk. But here's the thing, pigeons, these things, I think I usually forget, but like pigeons actually in Assassin's Creed 2, you had these missions where you needed to take messages from pigeons, and I completely never thought about the fact that pigeons actually can deliver messages. It's pretty insane if you ask me. I mean, seriously? It's pretty cool. There's like war pigeons and shit. Like, this shit is cool. There's pigeons who fought during the war, and these pigeons actually did shit. They literally had names. There was like a battalion, not a battalion, like a group of warrior pigeons. Pigeons were an actual division of soldiers of their own sort. There was war pigeons. I don't know, maybe this is obvious. I think people probably knew this, but I didn't, and I'm pretty shocked at the fact that there's pigeons who fought during the fucking World War One and Two. There's fucking war pigeons. Can you believe it? I can't believe that. One of them was called G.I. Joe, and in October 18, 1943, I'm just gonna read this. I was gonna try and write it down, memorize it, and then do it, but I can't do it. I seriously can't fucking do it. So during October 18, 1943, in a town called Calvi-Vecchia, is it? Can't pronounce Italian names, but it was German occupied town in Italy. So over there, they basically had the British 56th Infantry Brigade, and they were basically about to attack the area by bombing it. So the Germans died. Yeah, but the thing is, the Germans ran. They did not stay there, they escaped, but the British people didn't know this, so they were about to bomb the place, and civilians were horrified because they're gonna die for no reason at all, and the British is gonna regret it. So what they did was they tried to radio communicate their shit, but the radios weren't working for some fucking reason. You know how it is. So what they did was they sent a pigeon called G.I. Joe. A pigeon called G.I. Joe. Yo, that's pretty cool. So the pigeon, it went out, it sent the message to the British HQ or whatever. It was a journey of 32 kilometers and it finished it in 20 minutes. 32 kilometers is a lot if you think about it, and it finished it in just 20 minutes. It sent that and it saved the people, because then the British HQ was like, oh no, we're gonna make a huge mistake. They didn't do it because they realized it's a bad thing to do. So they actually saved lives because of a pigeon. Epic. But there's more of that. There's a lot of pigeons. I can't really talk about all of them. I'm just going to talk about a few of them, but pigeons are cool as hell, okay? It received a medal called the Dickon Medal. The Dickon Medal. Isn't that funny? No, it's not. No. I just have a shitty sense of humor. But then there's another one called Cher Ami. I'm not sure how to pronounce that either, so don't fucking at me on that. It saved a battalion of 200 people during World War One. It was during the Meuse Argonne Offensive of October 1918. I don't know how to pronounce that. Don't at me on that shit, bro. It was a strong battalion of soldiers who had gotten into the area. I didn't write down where. Good job, Kevin. But the HQ started firing artillery, an artillery barrage on them to protect them. But obviously they're gonna get friendly fire during all of that, so they were like terrified. So what they did was this was an isolated battalion of a few soldiers, by the way. They sort of got ahead, but the others just didn't. So they were stranded. They started attacking, and these people they were like, no, fuck, don't kill us. So they sent the Cherami, the pigeon. They took they put a message on it. They were like, yo, don't kill us, that's bad. And then they just sent him out, or him, and I didn't mention the gender, I'm not sure. So they sent them out, and the thingies, the Germans. What am I doing? What am I saying? I forgot. Oh yeah, so the Germans started firing at the pigeon instead, because that's dangerous. I mean, for some reason, Germans, unlike us, they actually knew how much value pigeons had, so they tried to shoot the pigeon down. But the pigeon covered the journey of 40 kilometers and sent the message, and they were able to save the 200 battalion of soldiers from there. But yeah, when they found out the pigeon itself, it had lost a leg, an eye, and had been shot through the breast, which is pretty bad. It's horrible, but it made the journey anyway to save the soldiers, which means it's pretty cool. I don't know what kind of award it got. I didn't write that down either. I'm very bad at researching. Kill me. Winky. Winky was a bird, a pigeon. During February 1942, during the World War II, the RAF bomber had landed in the North Sea. There were 4 people on it, and they were stranded in the ocean, just freezing. The rescue team were sent to help them, but they couldn't find them in the ocean, so these 4 people who were obviously freezing, they took the pigeon Winky and they sent it out hoping it would somehow do it. There was like I don't know, but some oil, some shit, and the pigeon had to escape from it, so it was pretty difficult. And then it covered a journey of 200 kilometers, and that the HQ received, and they were like, okay, so it took it this much time to get here, so can we calculate where they are? I don't know how they did it, but they did. They calculated the distance of the soldiers and they saved them from the ocean, from freezing. Winky saved their lives, so that's pretty cool. That's it. That's all I can say. There's also one called President Wilson. I really like that name, President Wilson. I'm not sure what he did. I forgot. There's a lot of them who get injured a lot during battles. They still keep on going. That's pretty cool. It's inspiring because they get shot, their wings get chopped off, they use artificial wings, but they just really are persistent and loyal, and that's what I appreciate about them. And what's more interesting is that scientists through the ages two that I found about were Charles Darwin and Nikola Tesla. So basically, Charles Darwin, in Victorian England, they actually encouraged domestic breeding of pigeons. So Charles Darwin actually was one of the biggest enthusiasts of pigeons. In his book, what is his book? In his book, The Variation of Animals and Plants Under Domestication, he had written 2 chapters on pigeons. To put things in perspective, cats and dogs were put into one single chapter, while pigeons had 2 chapters. So you can see the guy loved pigeons, which is pretty cool. Charles Darwin loves pigeons. Christians are pretty mad at pigeons right now, aren't they? But you know, doves and pigeons are pretty much related. They're very closely related. I don't know. They had some kind of name. I was researching it earlier, so I don't remember it right now. But they kind of are cousins, I guess. Yeah. There's feral pigeons. There's domestic pigeons. Feral pigeons are like derivatives of domestic pigeons. Ferals are the ones you see outside, by the way. And domestic, I'm not sure. I haven't seen a domestic pigeon. I haven't even actually seen a dove in my entire life. But domestic pigeons are the colorful ones that you see on streets. They're very overpopulated. Some government are actually like trying to get the population down of those pigeons, which is understandable, but they're actually kind of good. Another thing about Nikola Tesla, I forgot. So Nikola Tesla, the guy used to heal birds in his room. He used to not birds, I mean pigeons. He used to live in a hotel room in NYC, so he had pigeons. Especially this one, like there was a white female pigeon that he really liked. Basically, it flew to his room when it was sick or something, and Nikola Tesla put her back to health, and he was like watching over her. And he said that he really loved the pigeon as much as a person would love a friend or whatever. Not sure if it was a friend or a lover. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, they formed a very deep relationship. Like Nikola even said that it was the joy of his life and it gave him a purpose. It's pretty deep. That's pretty fucking deep, Nikola. That's good. But Nikola was very sad when it died. She died. And yeah, it's Nikola Tesla and his pigeon. It's a pretty sad story. After that, art. There was a Japanese psychologist by the name of Shigeru Watanabe. I don't know how to pronounce that, don't at me. And his 2 colleagues who received a Nobel Prize in 1995. And that was because they actually trained the pigeon to recognize art pieces of Claude Monet and Picasso. So basically the pigeons could look at art pieces and point out who drew them between the 2. They I don't know, I didn't write about this, I just remember this. So I think they were also further experimented, and apparently they can also recognize the type of art style, like if it's oil painting or traditional or whatever, like fucking shit like that. I don't know about art. I'm not an art student, I'm a science student, I'm stupid. But it's pretty cool. After that, there was also this thing like they could like they had learned the grading system of schools, so they could judge how good or bad a painting was, or rather how the school would grade the painting. Like, would the school say this is a good painting or a bad painting? Yeah, they could do that. They had that much cognitive ability. And they also have a sense of space and time. I'm not sure how the experiment worked, but they have a sense of space and time, but apparently they don't have the cortexes in their brain that we do for recognizing space and time, so they do it they do it somehow. I mean, they're pretty cool. They're cool enough to be able to recognize space and time without having the thing inside their brain that is used to recognize space and time. That's pretty cool. I should probably switch to my lab coat. I'm feeling pretty scientist right now using all these big words. But I'm gonna do that. What is up, fellow scientists? It is me. Okay, so yeah, back to the point. The fucking pigeons. Pretty cool pigeons. I like pigeons. I'm a doctor, and I can tell you pigeons are pretty cool. They're the best shit ever. Stand pigeons, my friends. So the next thing that I can tell you about pigeons is that they're like... What can I tell you about pigeons? I don't have a lot. Oh, I remember. Basically, pigeons can actually like judge the things. What can it do? Oh yeah, the writings. So they can say if something written on a board is a word or it's just unrecognizable screeching. They can't read, but they can say if a word is a word or not. That's pretty cool too. I mean, can you do that? Can you fucking read, you idiot? You can't. I can't read, but they can't read either. So I mean, that's forgiven, right? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm seriously not sure. I've lost my mind. Do I have something to say? Do I really have something to say? I don't have anything to say, bro. I love pigeons, that's all. I really love pigeons. That's what you can take. What the fuck? I heard something. I don't know what I heard. The pigeons are coming for me. I should not have made this video. They are coming for me. Yeah, as you can see, this hiatus from not making a video has made me gone absolutely insane. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, bro. Pigeons. I should have gathered more facts about pigeons. I actually meant to write about pigeons, not write, talk about pigeons in my oral exam. We needed to have a discussion on something. I thought pigeons would be a pretty cool idea. But then she just started asking me why my hand was shaking so much, and then we just started talking about my social anxiety instead. But in my final exam, one of the speech topics was birds. So I just fucking went off and I wrote about pigeons in my final exams. That was the last topic in the paper, but the last two were actually pretty epic because there was like a poem that I had to write, and I skipped over it. I was like, I'm not gonna write this poem, right? The poem was I didn't want to write the poem. I was like running out of time, so I wrote everything else, and then I came back to the poem later. But the speech was the final thing on the paper, so I wrote the speech on the pigeons. I think it's pretty cool if you can use an analogy or something, a story for a speech. So I think I might get good marks for that. But the poem was the last thing I wrote on the paper. It's not related, I'm just gonna say it anyway, because I think it was pretty cool. So I didn't know what to write for the poem. We basically had to write about trees. So I wrote, when a man lets not a tree to bloom or something, I don't remember actually. When a man allows not a tree to bloom, he knows not, but he invites his doom. So the last thing I wrote on my English paper is doom. It's pretty cool. I mean, I fucking feel so proud of myself. Yay, Kevin, you did it. You made a doom reference on your last English paper. The last word that you wrote on the paper was doom. Yeah, that's all about pigeons. I hope you learned a lot about pigeons today. I hope you feel better about having pigeons out there. I have those pigeons out there, by the way. They're right out there. The kid pigeon has grown. He's actually moved out of the bucket. I'll add a clip of the pigeon after this. That's the pigeon over there. And that's the tub where he used to live in. He no longer lives in the tub. His parents still come in to feed him. So that's pretty good. I'm happy that's working out. I'm hungry. I hope my mom comes and feeds me soon. I'm so fucking hungry. I haven't studied for my computer science exam. I have totally shit on my chemistry and physics exam. Maths was also fairly bad. I can't study for CS. I'm physically going insane. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I love pigeons. That's all that matters. I love pigeons.